Hey everyone, welcome back to new Kevin's Kreations here on Geektopia Island. I'm Kevin.
I'm Cardwell.
And today we're going to be talking about the deck we played at the deck brawl. And it's some assembly required.
Yes.
So this deck is mono blue, and it's a whole lot of I'm going to kill you.
Counters everywhere. You better have dice.
Yeah, you need lots of dice for this deck.
All the dice.
So without further ado, we'll delve into it.
Yes.
And the ruler we use is Arthur, and it's all machines. That's what we're doing.
Yep. And we don't actually use them.
Yeah.
I mean, just don't. But we'll go over them for you.
Yeah. So the reason we use Arthur is for the new Master Rune is mainly the reason why he's being used. But we'll cover that in a little bit. But for what he does, he's Divinity 10, Judgments for 3 blue, and Energizes a blue. If you do Judgment, which is very rare, and I don't really know why you need to, unless you really just need the extra body.
Unless you're memeing it up, really.
Yeah. But he Judgments into a 0/8 Divinity 10 flyer. And he comes into play, you look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 2 machine resonators from among them, remove them from the game. Put a 1/1 counter equal to a combined total on this card. And it's on the total cost of the card, so if you get like a 6-drop and a 5-drop, he gets 11. But this ability can be lore righted, so yeah, it's kind of rough.
And the rest of the cards, of course, go in the graveyard, correct?
Yes, they do. Yes. So it's just like the bang for the buck doesn't seem like it's worth it.
No.
Honestly. Because it, especially, like, if you're not playing green, then sure, you get a cool dude. But even still, he's going to be like a 4/8 usually. Because you're playing machines like 2 drops, 3 drops.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a whole lot, and you're going to lose like 3 cards. So it's not really totally worth it.
And those cards combined are more powerful than him in general.
Yeah.
Just like at all.
But without dogging on him more,
yeah.
he's got his reasons.
He's the leader, okay? He's commanding the machines. That's all he needs to do.
Yeah. But we'll go into his runes real quick. So first off, we have Sand Awakening, and it is a red and 1 for Divinity 1 quick cast, but you pay a red less as long as it's in your rune area. So essentially it's 1 colorless. And target Resonator gets +2/+6 until the end of turn. If it's Fire Resonator, it gets +4/+8. We don't have those, so it's there for the 1 mana +2/+8, or +2/+6. And that actually does a lot more than you think it would, because it protects it really well. It protects your one dude that you need protected, whether it's Lanceelot or Viviance or whatever. It's something that they have to play around, because it's +2/+6. That dude's got a booty, and he doesn't die.
Exactly. And even if it's them swinging 2 dudes to kill your 1 dude.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
Next up is Invitation, and this card is insane. So it's 3 mana for Divinity 2 Chant/Rune. You pay 1 less to play this card from a rune area. Search your deck for a card and put it in your hand. So it's 2 mana, go get whatever you want and put it in your hand. I'll take a tutor all day.
At any time that you need to, like, okay, I'll need this card. It's so,
yeah, if you got to see our deck rolls, you got to see me go get, like, I think a Merlin or a Lanceelot. I got a Lanceelot. Because I was like, I need to kill you right now. Let's get a Lanceelot.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just, for 2 mana, go get whatever you want. Awesome.
It's ridiculous.
Next up is actually one of the new chant runes, and it's super, super fun. It's called Mystery Box.
Yay.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
So Divinity 3 for a 7-cost rune, chant rune. Reveal the top 5 of your deck. Put all non-chant cards from among them into the field and the rest into your graveyard. If this card was awakened, players cannot chase to it, and you can awaken it by discarding your hand.
Yeah. Man.
The only time you ever really need to awaken that is if you're playing against counterspells, really. But, I mean, unless you don't want them to respond by killing some dudes or whatever.
Yeah.
But usually you're just going to pay 7 and get 5 things. Because this deck is mostly permanents that come into play.
Yeah.
So you're not going to lose out on value, and most of the time they're Lanceelots and other silly stuff.
Like, there are a lot of things that'll build your board to destroy your opponent real quick.
Yeah, and as we found out, you can stack it how you want, so whenever your dudes come into play, because they all essentially come in the same time, but you decide what their order is.
The triggers, yeah.
So that way you get your triggers correctly. Like if you have a Lanceelot and 4 dudes, you can have the other dudes come into play first, and then Lanceelot give counters to everyone. It's kind of bonkers how much this can do. Can get you into the game or over the game.
Yeah.
Next up is Maintenance, and this card is pretty wild. So it is 0 costs for a quick cast Divinity 2 rune. Put 2 1/1 counters on up to 2 target machine resonators. So for free, 2 dudes get 2 counters. That's free 4 damage. That's if you think about it.
That's it. It's
awesome.
insane. It's stupid.
So like that early when you have a big dude and you have a threat and they're just like deal 6 to it, you're like, cool, he gets 2 counters.
Yeah.
No. or if you need to give somebody counters to give them haste or whatever.
Just anything.
It's there.
It's just there.
And then finally, we do have Arthur's Master Rune because it is okay. It's not the best, but it's still good. 3 mana for Divinity 2, and it's called Antimatter Cannon Excalibur. And it's his Master Rune, so you can only play if it's Arthur. Your opponent separates all non-Magic Stone, non-J-Ruler entities they control into 2 piles. Put all entities in 1 pile in the bottom of their owner's deck in any order. And they get to keep the other pile.
Yeah.
So, essentially, you're just like, put these over here and this over there. And you can have a pile of 0. I don't know why you would, but you can.
Yeah.
So remember that. But your opponent gets to choose it. So it's not like totally game changing because they get to choose how they want their piles, but you get to be like, no, you don't get that. So essentially, you just hope that they put the pesky cards in one or like split their cards up to a way that you can deal with it.
Exactly.
And its main purpose is to get rid of addition hate. It's like the main board addition hate of this deck. That's its main purpose here. With that, that's all the runes in the Rune Deck. It is a full 10, so you can get all of them out. It's pretty nice. And then we'll move into the Resonators and make the deck silly.
Yep, especially the first one, which is an uncommon, crazy enough, and more powerful than Arthur. 1-drop Vivian. 3/3 Flying Machine Fairy. Whenever another machine enters under your control, put a 1/1 counter on this card, and remove 2 of those counters, and rest target Resonator. Just don't attack me.
It's a 1 mana 3/3 flyer,
Yeah,
first off.
That's good.
And then it gets bigger every time you play a dude.
Which, yeah, because that's all your dudes are machines. And your addition is a machine too. And it's just ridiculous.
And you're able to just tap down their dudes to win. So you're like, hey, don't block. Or don't attack me.
Yeah, don't attack me.
It's so silly to get that turn 1, because you're just like, turn 1, I have control of the board.
Yeah.
Great. If they don't kill it on turn 2, you're like, great, I don't care.
It could be a 5/5 flying.
Yeah.
Swinging already.
And to help it out, and to help out all your other machines, we have Guinevere, the Mobility Queen.
Jesus.
So 1 blue for a 0/2. She's a human machine wonder. She comes into play, put 2 1/1 counters on target machine Resonator. You could banish a machine, you put 2 1/1 counters on her. Or you can tap, remove a total of 12, search your deck for a card named Super Mobile Combat Fortress Camelot. Put it into the field, then shuffle your deck. So, if you got to watch our brawls, you got to see some shenanigans that she does.
Oh, yes.
So, like he was saying, the addition that is in here is a machine, so you can sacrifice it to put 2 counters on her to go tap and go do your whatever to get a Camelot. It's so silly how much work she can do. And if you have multiples of them, you're just like, this gets 2 counters, this gets 2 counters, sacrifice this one, because I don't care.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Just, the amount of value that she brings is kind of insane for 1 mana.
Like, if you just go crazy on Vivian, you could be like, Vivian 1, then Guinevere, like, turn 2, and then you're just like, 2 counters of her. That's a 3 counter. That's 6 power right there.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, thanks.
And, like you were saying, you put them on a target machine Resonator,
Yeah.
so you can still use her to block whatever big dude that's coming your way.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And if at any time they're like, well, kill that machine, you're like, well, sack this machine to put 2 counters on her. Value.
Hey!
Thanks.
Yep.
It's ridiculous. The next one, Sky Round Musketeer. You might not see much, but he's really powerful. For a 2-drop, 1 blue, 1, 6/4. Has an inner trigger, which is weird, but it put a 1/1 counter on itself.
Great.
Because machines love counters.
Because why not? I want a 7/5 for 2 mana.
Yeah.
Seems good.
Thanks.
And it is a machine, so it triggers all your other shenanigans.
Yep.
Great.
Exactly.
Next up is actually one of our heavy hitters of the deck, and he's like your kind of in piece. And is Lanceelot, the Glass Knight. So he's 3 mana for a 6/6 machine. He comes into play, you put a 1/1 counter on each machine you control. Each machine Resonator you control. Remove 3 +1/+1 counters from a Resonator you control. Destroy target Resonator.
Just like that.
So, awesome. Board clear. And then remove a total of 10 1/1 counters from any number of Resonators you control. J Resonators your opponent control. Lose all abilities until the end of turn. Destroy all Resonators your opponent controls.
Yeah.
So, Lanceelot can do a lot for you.
Yes.
A, he gets to win the game by putting counters on all your dudes. First off.
Yeah.
B, he can kill single dudes by removing counters from a dude.
Which is just 1 more from, like Vivian. She does 2, he does 3. Simple as that.
Yeah. And then lastly, you can clear their board / make it to where they don't get come into play effects. Because his last ability is a blanket effect. So if they judgment their ruler and have a come into play trigger like Lucifer, you can be like in response blanket Lucifer or blanket Lanceelot. Like remove 10 counters, you don't get come into play triggers. So Lucifer will not trigger his judgment, which is kind of silly.
Or even if they play Belial, so you don't have to board wipe or anything. You're just like, okay, well, kill all your dudes, and my dudes are alive. Thank you.
And the reason why is it's a blanket effect that says your opponents lose all abilities, like your Resonators and stuff lose all abilities. So they don't have they have a blanket come into play. They lose it. Yeah. It's weird, but that's how it works.
Yeah. Like you said, a blanket, so if something falls on it, it just catches it, and it's just soft.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Yeah. The next one is Gawain. Wait. How say it?
Gawain.
Gawain. For some reason, I said it earlier before, I swear. Gawain, the Swift Knight. 2 blue, 1, 8/8. This card gains swiftness as long as there's a 1/1 counter on it, which there's plenty of things that do that.
Yeah, he's going to get a 1/1 counter on him almost always. A good play for him is turn 3 play him and then maintenance to give him and Vivian some counters and just be like, Brarg!
10/10 haste for 3.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Next up, simple and easy, is Merlin, and this dude is a beast. He is a power horse for you later in the game.
He's really good.
So 4 mana for a 6/8 with Machine. He's got Awakening X. So you have to pay X to play him, or when you play him, you get extra ability. So X, you pay X, enter, search your deck for a machine with total cost X +2 or less, and put it into the field. So you can pay X to 0 and go get a 2 or less thing and put it into play. Yeah. Or you can pay X for 1 and go get a Lanceelot and be like, I hate you. Yeah. Because that's essentially what you do for 1 mana or more. So you pay 5 and go get a Lanceelot and get to kill them. Because that's what Merlin and Lanceelot do.
And Merlin's not a little guy either. He's a 6/8, like you just said. Like,
he's just a big dude.
A 6/8 that brings all this power on the field at any moment. When you cast him, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's pretty silly. Merlin can do a lot for you.
And the fact that it's the +2 part, that's what wins. Yeah. If it's just X, a little rough. But +2, good. Yeah.
And then last main resonator of the deck is the Super Mobile Fortress Camelot. The Gundam Ships of Death. Mm-hmm. So 6 mana for a 12/12 flyer. Awesome. Comes into play, return up to 2 target Resonators your opponent controls to their owner's hands. If you control a card named Guinevere, Mobility Queen, destroy those Resonators instead.
Yes.
So, if you have Guinevere, you get to kill 2 dudes. If you don't, they just bounce. And if you saw our deck brawl, I needed to make sure I bounced them, so I made sure I lost my Guinevere because I wanted to bounce his dudes.
That might happen sometimes. But if anything, that's instant speed removal from Guinevere. Just to be like, quick cast a giant ship that just comes in and crashes on 2 dudes.
Yeah, and because he's saying quick cast because of the tap ability. You just get it for free on their turn and block whatever they're doing and bounce whatever else they're doing. Yeah. It's just a whole bunch of setback.
It's just ridiculous. Alright, that is all the Resonators in the deck. We'll go to the spells. The first one is Skyfall. 1 blue. It has quick cast as long as you control a machine Resonator. And then return target Resonator to its owner's hand. Just 1 blue, tempo that guy out.
Yeah, or if you're going to try to kill your Lanceelot or something, you'd like bounce it back for 1 minute and I don't care. I mean, it's what it does. It's there to protect your dude or get through their dudes.
Exactly.
Next up is Keez' Call. And, I mean, it's a little blue dolphin that's awesome.
Yeah, he's super cute.
So, 1 blue, quick cast, cancel target automatic ability of a Resonator, draw a card.
It's like your little Lorite, pretty much.
Yeah, it's your own Lorite. It's not as strong as a Lorite, but it does what it needs to do, which is counter come to play abilities like Moses or other Merlins, just other good dudes that they're like, hey, come and play, deal 8 to the board? No. Yeah. No.
Don't think so. Thanks. The next one is Rune Submerged beneath the Misty Spring. 1 blue edition. Whenever you play a water Resonator, put a miss counter on this card, remove 2 counters, and target Resonator against barrier. Barrier chant. It's extremely disgusting. Yeah, so I don't like it. I love it, actually.
If you get it turn 1, it's awesome in this deck. Because you're like, turn 1, I get to fuel it to just be like, hey, because you have to play dudes to make it get counters. Yeah. But it is worth it, because if they're playing any kind of red burn, they can't really target your dudes. Yeah. Runes can, because they're not chants, but a chant rune can't. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that's what was in Cardwell's hand when we were playing that last game, because I was like, hey, you can't target this dude.
And you had like 6+ counters on him, like, well, I can't kill anything. Because that's a waste of 3 cards for no reason.
Yeah, because you can, if they do it the first time, you're like, cool, it gets barrier. They can in response kill it, and you're like, cool, it gets barrier again.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as it has 2 counters to remove, you can do it as many times as you can. It's pretty ridiculous.
It's silly. The next one is the Sky Round edition. The Machine edition, actually. 1 blue, 1. Machines you control get +1/+1. So it's a Lord for 2. And whenever Machine Resonate enters the field under your control, put a 1/1 counter on it. It's a double Lord for 2.
Yeah, this card is disgusting. It's so strong.
If anyone remembers the Double Mint commercials, this would be part of it. Because this is ridiculous.
The reason this card is so busted is it's one of the only, like, tribal editions that has the tribal thing in it.
Yeah.
So it has machine in it, so it makes Merlin go be able to search it, or other cards that search for machines, you can go get it because it's a machine. And like Guinevere, you can sack a machine, so you can sack it to her. Yeah. It's just ridiculous.
Or it comes in late, it triggers Vivian, like, because it's a machine. Like,
and it like you said, it double buffs your machines because you play one and it gets the solo from the +1 counters, and then it gets the 1 from it. It's ridiculous. And the final card is Skynet because Terminators happen.
Yep.
And it's a machine. But this is why we play Arthur as our ruler, because this card is really good with Arthur. So 2 blue and 3 for Divinity 5 Chant/Master Rune. You pay 2 less to play this card if your ruler is Arthur. So essentially 3 mana. This card deals damage equal to the total attack of machine resonators you control, divided as you choose to any number of target resonators your opponent controls.
Could be a one-sided board wipe. Thanks.
It essentially is. Because you're like, my dudes are big because they have counters. So like you have a 3, a 4, a 7. You're just like, that's 14 damage for 3 mana to just be like, kill that, kill that, kill that, kill that.
Yeah.
Go. The card is silly. I didn't even get to play it because I didn't really need to.
Nah.
But card can win you the game really quickly just because you clear the board and then you still get to swing because he said it's a one-sided board wipe.
Yeah, it's insane.
That's it as far as the main deck. It is super strong and fun. The stones are really simple. We have 6 of the water magic stone because it's all we're doing.
Yeah.
And then we have 4 of the magic stone of dramaturgy, which is the machine stone. It adds a blue, or you tap add a 1/1 counter to a target machine that was put into the field this turn.
Just more counters for free.
Yeah, because why not?
Yeah.
It's there, you use it for a blue, or you get a counter. Great.
Yeah, and your machines are small enough mana, so late game you're just like, every turn, just like, cast a thing.
You're like, cool, I don't need this anymore.
Yeah.
That is it for the full 40 and the stones. The deck is super fun.
Yeah.
We do have one honorable mention, and it is Arendite, the Nitrogen Blade. It is 1 blue for quick cast, cancel target automatic ability of a Resonator. If this card is awakened, destroy that Resonator.
Oh,
so you can awaken it for blue and 2. Mostly it's there so you can take this deck and take out Keez's Call and put that in its place, and this deck is cluster.
Yeah.
So you're like, hey, cool, we're playing New Frontiers, and then we go to cluster. Let's just switch this out. Boop.
There you go.
And if you really need to kill that dude as well, you can bring it in for that. And it gives you just another like form of Keez's Call.
Yeah.
So you get multiple ways to just be like, no, don't do that. But the likelihood of you needing that is kind of slow because this deck is just a tempo deck to just kill you. But that is it as far as the deck, guys. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for joining us here today at Geektopia Island, and we will see y'all again next time. Goodbye. Also, guys, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and if you want to keep up to date on all of our future content, make sure you tap that bell.
And go ahead and check us out on our streams. Don't forget to support us on Patreon. And thank you for staying here on the island.
Later, guys.
Bye.